Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing this interesting poison list. This deck is going to be a lot more on the fun to play calendar than it is a competitive type of situation because this deck needs a lot to go right for it, but we're going to try our best today and see what we can do with some of the new cards from Marvel. Mainly the Servant Society. One of the things about this card is it is basically unremovable outside of combat. Once you have early game poison from Finn the Fangbearer by playing maybe a 1-drop, playing it, putting them on 4, having this in play just makes it really hard to remove, so they either have to board wipe you or not, and if they're unable to remove this, then this is a very threatening target because you can't remove it while it's attacking, and then also it's a good body for 3 mana. It's a 3/4, always a good one, but it also has Deathtouch, so it's not like you can get away from it anyway, even if your creature's massive. And you're not going to be able to target regardless, or unless you want 5 poison, of course. But with that said, we're just going to go ahead and dive into the games. We're going to be just playing in public play today. I do not think, looking at it right now, I do not think it's going to be good enough for ranked, so I don't really want to just go on there and just be like, oh, we won 5 ranked games, and then you build it and try it, and then it doesn't go that well, because misleading is not that great when it comes to, investing rare wild cards when this is going to be 4 rares, this is going to be 2 rares. Obviously, you might play them in something else or something like that, but I don't want to tell you to invest in something that I don't necessarily maybe believe in when it comes in rank perspective. But with that said, let's dive in. Deals damage, right? Don't fight target creature. Yeah, awesome. This is great. Our hand is one of those hands that you do just shock this in right away. The reason why is because you would activate this twice, and on turn 2, you might have to shock this in anyway, which costs you all. Run of it. Green white landfall potentially, so we're just gonna play our little camera here. Good enough. Cloak and dagger and twine could be good if we hit it. This obviously can if we hit it. Their mana up. I want to do this or do I want to do this? Good combat. I don't know what they could have. Let's jam this. Green white. I mean, I guess it could be get lost or something. I don't know. Hey, 5 poison to target this. Creature's absurd. Exile draw. Okay. Still nothing. But pass, I guess. That's bad. Maybe I get hit with day here. I would just do this. That out of the way. Aim human on this. Back again. Pass. Oh no, getting trample. We're just holding this up in case he has to target this. Whole point. Wow. Wow, we're just finding the cards. It's tough. They hit him. Activates this next turn. Okay. Word 5 poison 2 times. A lethal amount. Just like that, easy enough. The camera with that card is kind of disgusting. At any point my opponent tries to interact with me, they immediately lose the game. What a card. What a card. Opponent goes first. Seems like a good hand to keep. Plan feels costly, but maybe like we shouldn't be playing it. I know it's like it's saying like a lot. I don't know why. I know this land is good, but look at our curve. Feels almost more punishing to have this. I will most likely just play this, but or tap land in. Play another one of these. Okay. It sets up the same amount of poison as just playing this would, but it doesn't put this in jeopardy of dying. This is a 1/3, but the card that they could remove our stuff with now does exist. Maybe it is to play this. So weird. Because non-token you would think is always good. Right? But in a case like this, it's not. Oh. It's control? I didn't know that. I didn't think we were. Four on him. Oh, this is where this line's actually good. Green land's throwing me off. One color we don't play. Color. Playing their weird variation. They have blue and 2 red. Don't shock. Huh? Pause here. Yeah, I'm going for it. Now they have 1 red. All right, we get there. Very sick. It's on the play, but we'll try. Right, we'll play here and play this. If our opponent's really feeling it, or if they have the removal. Having a lot of Deathtouch creatures should be good. In general. Kind of whatever. I am willing to block. Set this up. Maybe not. Oh. On basics, inner tapped. Okay. Block. Yeah, I think I want to hold this Bitter Triumph. This isn't going to be a win right out the gate kind of situation. Though I would like it to be. You need to answer this guy. I play a lot of creatures, so this isn't as big of a deal here. Answering maybe this is. And I can get rid of Overgrown. Okay. Tap. Or play this untap. Play Unstoppable Slasher. Two cards left in their hand. Slasher. Pack, we block. Maybe they pump to answer the Slasher. Then we can play this, take a damage. Fun. Because I'd rather take one and answer the creature than otherwise. When a player casts on a creature spell. So this does affect them as well. Basically looking to play against the decks. Or like high Spellslinger decks. Because this does resolve before like a Lightning Helix does, for example. Even though Lightning Helix can't answer this. Let's say you burn them down, they stock up, and then they play like a Get Lost or something. Kind of answer that ahead of time. Finding more stuff. Ah. I feel like a lightning strikes blooming feels pretty tough. Here, take one. We'll be targeting the higher claw here. Maybe done this on the Magebane Lizard, and maybe they would think it wouldn't answer it, which it still does. Deathtouch. Answer that right away. Now I don't have to worry about this growing to be massive. For example, they could have paid 2 to grow it there, but obviously it wouldn't have changed it living or dying. That's just something to think about. I take 3. Block my Deathtouch here. This is still just as good. This have trample. Deathtouch with trample is pretty diabolical. Down to 2. Now any swing at them is enough for lethal. I will most likely block here. I feel like I should. 1 to 9. Can I die at 9? I think this double strike would do a lot, yeah. Lightning, sure. They're assuming I'm gonna block. Makes a lot of sense why they were so focused on not letting the lizard go. They didn't want to take more damage. With 2 mana up in this kind of situation, I'm definitely just passing. It's lethal. First. Okay. Just pick that. And we'll attack. We'll trigger, put a counter on it, and we'll close out the game. Very cool. Yeah, just not the matchup they're looking for, unfortunately. We're on the ground, we have Deathtouch. It's very threatening. Unstoppable Slasher is really annoying. And we just end up coming away with the win, so we'll take it. Definitely good to keep this one. One. This obviously has to be on green for our Hunter's talent. Our opponent, fortunately, shields down, definitely. Freaking Dagger feels good enough for this deck. The other card, though, doesn't necessarily feel all that great. It's a bad body. This is kind of a bad body, but it does have a amount of protection to it that matters. Set it up. Poison. I think I should just play her. Look for any type of removal state action. Day of Black Sun. I think Day of Black Sun, I guess. Mana 2. Went first, so we win. Get the on board. Close out the game that quick. No, we did put them at half their life total. So win just losing. Now we go technically 2 over. Had it regardless. But taking this and preventing a kind of weird board wipe to us. Although they could have done it for 1 just to answer this, and then we wouldn't have this in play. So having this, or we would have this in play, but then we'd be too short. Then that would have allowed them to maybe do this, which on 2 would have got rid of this, and then I guess this technically lived. But it's a bit weird. I mean, kind of the going first is so good. Going first here is pretty sweet. We'll keep. So obviously our hand is a little bad. Raw on how it functions. Just, we don't have a 1-drop. Fun to play with a 1-drop in this is incredible. Obviously we're stuck not in that position. So in this matchup of targeting, this card's gonna obviously be pretty good. Here, have it tapped, and play this. Our black mana will be online. Most likely, I feel like it's probably getting bounced or moved by something. Lightning Strike, ideal. They have the Talisman sleeve, which is cool. How about Poison? I want them to interact here, so when I play this, it's obviously not really in line for counterspell. Best part about this here is the fact that it does the same by being played this situation as it would any other situation, right? So here's talent, sure. Alright. So we're just not blocking. All bait. Pump it if they want, but block. A lot of Deathtouch we can play. Would really have liked to find a different one, honestly. Spell Snare would be pretty actually, now that running into a problem here. Hey, attacking with it. 5 poison by not attacking with it. That makes sense. Because they can remove this and attack me for free if I attack with this, but vice versa is not. Opposite is not true, I guess. Not true. Like a lot. You have a flyer that can answer. Here. That. Combat. Now I can do. A part of me wants to double attack, but I think with cards in their hand after a double selection, I just wait. And this being what makes it so hard. Their slick shot probably should have attacked. Not really sure why it didn't. 1-0 and trample works so well with Deathtouch. You only have to assign 1 damage to do everything you want. Attack with this 4/4, I will block with the slasher. We're at this weird spot where we're a slow burn deck. In a way. Opponent's really trying to interact well. Happening. This is where this saying non-token is kind of bad. 1/1, but if it didn't say non-token, then your opponent would be sacrificing tokens in response to stuff, and that would be worse for us. Just a weird give and take. There is a very good effect. Worse here. Pretty gross. Huh? Fine. You assign 1 here and 1 hits them. They'll take 2 poison. Exactly what we want. I have a creature for that. Then here's the weird situation where we hold the Fen. Play it here. So now level this up plus to play the Fen. Are at 4. If they ever really target this now, they're just cooked. Not a whole lot they can do. Really need to find a slick shot. So they have to find a weird situation where they let the Serpent hit, but they have the bounce for the. They're casting a lot of spells here. Could have just upgraded this, picked up a boomerang basic, and then put it. Back for one. Find another one of those. Just lose here. 100,000% lose. That level up on this Storm Chase talent is going to be so huge. At least trigger their slick shot. What? 3 times? Twice? Didn't this grab boomerang basics? It's just weirdly like not enough. Could grab a wild run if they have extra spells. Wild run would actually work really well. They grab a burst. Okay. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage I'm seeing. I think if they grabbed Wild Run, it actually would work better because +3. Well, no, I guess not. I thought it was a little bit more than that. Lightning upstairs. They're fully tapped out. They already played a land. This is 7 damage. They have nothing else. Run it. Good combat for us. Tried, and we went against the strong Is It Prowess deck. Take that. We are fully ready to keep this hand, of course. We're probably gonna have to shock this hand regardless. Don't have a Fin in our hand, but I think a hand like this that could curve out very, very well. Obviously good enough to keep. We have here, into here, maybe here. Kind of depends. Or we rip a Fin like a mad lad. Now we start the game. Honestly, this flipping's kind of bad. We really do just want to on its Deathtouch side. Fight, Spider Manifestation. Typically okay. We could just attack and see if they block. And we don't have to waste our removal. Here's the weird thing. Feel like obviously answering this makes a lot of sense. I think we actually hold and wait, and we answer the second thing they play that's untapped. Captain it, put a shield counter on it. As long as there's shield counter on it, you and other heroes, you could have hexproof. You and other heroes. Yeah. Weird. The wrong card to remove there, but be good. Then splat them. Although, I guess playing them and then putting this in play is just so they ever target it. Would rather Fen not be gone in a situation like this. It still applies here. His first strike. I'm stupid. I was like, what happened? I forgot he has first strike. Yeah, he just clears my board entirely. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Holy, I just did not read him. Well, I did. I was just reading him, but I just forgot the first strike part. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a Stone Cold card to them. That's the road. Go for it. Alright. So weird, because attacking with a lot of sense, because first strike will hit for 1. I can assign a lot of 1 damage to things. Although, I think we just set up for this. We end up answering. Let's hit this and then attack. I have to block with 2 creatures in order to answer it. Not worth. It's only worth if I have the trample. Yeah. Unfortunately, I drew the other fence, so it makes it look like when I didn't attack with this, it made no sense. Me missing this at first strike is entirely why we're losing now. Sucks. Obviously, a misplay like that, just not fully reading the card. I mean, literally the first line of text on it. I just was trying to read everything, and then the hexproof part tripped me up a bit because it said other heroes, and I was like, they have this. What do you mean other heroes? Maybe we should have tried to Bitter Triumph this and then done this to it. I mean, that was probably the best play. Now I got rid of the other Cecil as well by doing the Bitter Triumph play. It was just so bad and just we did. Card. Flying for strike forward whenever it attacks each hero. The thing, dude. They keep playing hero cards. Really confused. Also has first strike. Now this gets fully bodied over anything. I just can't do anything about it. Yeah, I mean, that misplay actually just cost us pretty bad. I think I was just supposed to pop this with the Bitter Triumph, take the shield off, use this, answer it, and then our attack would have just been good regardless, and they would be at 8, and then last turn I could have just hit this up and got through unless they blocked with everything. Yeah, I threw that game, that play. It's just so weird to try to do something like that. But my thought process was, well, I can attack with Cecil. It'll hit, taking the shield counter off, because 1 Deathtouch would obviously kill it, but also damage just removes that. But then I just lost my creature for free and then didn't put the extra 2 poison on him. So it was just a big mistake all the way around. So yeah, I threw that game pretty bad. I feel like that's actually a pretty easy win based on how it turned out, but we can't always win every game. So on. Who goes first? We have a very good hand. And a little bit harder. Harder, obviously, because we're against red and they're on the play. I think it's a bit there. Blocking sucks a lot. Pass. Opponent might not be a bowler. This. Really? I do something on the Timber Heart Challenger to like draw cards. Cast my answer it. Because now if they targeted that card they exile, it's no value at all because they don't play to win. A 1/3 realistically is probably fine. Here we go. Here could have shocked, maybe pump. Let's do it. later. Fine with me. What's the hold? I should have played this line. So if I wanted to shock and play 2 cards, I could. Cards and back, see if they block. Taking 40% of their life total. Taking amount for me. Take more. Here, thankfully, we drew probably the 1 card we can get away with now. Trample. Can't, funnily. And I think this card's just so bad. Whenever creature you control attacks on against first strike and miss. Weird, because it is fine. Just, it is not the closer we was. Good for this. Side out. So we're just not going to let that fly. Not attacking with this. Thankfully, our trample will do enough. Our card's unremoved by them. Unremoved? Not removed. Down, they make another. A card that they just cannot answer. Good block. I suppose block. Flip it up and be quick shot and then cast a spell and deal a lot of damage. Yes. Amount of removal, not another land. Just for like a bitter triumph. We dead. I think so. Will cover us regardless of what happens. Here and here. Maybe I should have done this because we knew that 1 creature didn't have first strike. Maybe a lightning strike here, so let's play here. Okay, we get it. Definitely should have removed this, I think, because we know that this doesn't have first strike. This could be a creature with 1, and they flip it. We see what it is. Funnily enough, it's the same card as it was before. Really funny. This one. But we should have done this, because if it was a creature with first strike, we'd trouble. We have trample anyway, so it's not like it matters. But if they block with first strike and then pump it, we lose our creature and we actually don't trample over because it just gives a 1-0. Okay, so here we are at the end, and obviously I would talk about it just a very little bit. Cards I would cut immediately is Black Widow. I don't think she's actually all that good for the list. You might find times to be strong, but I think the fact that I never really felt like it was all that relevant. I felt like removal was just a bit better in general, especially on the fact that I was struggling pretty hard against Badger Mole Cubs. It was just kind of those situations where they went first. I got absolutely blown out by it. And I think cutting these to just play like 1-drop removal be a better investment over time. Mainly on the fact that I never wanted to play this. I understand the Deathtouch is there. The 3 mana for a 2/2 that's not really interacting directly with our opponent, like Cloak and Dagger did. Cloak and Dagger was basically a way that we ensured a win by taking the best card from our opponent's hand and hoping they obviously didn't draw another one. But it can also take the thing in play just out of the way. For example, this can only give one creature first strike in Menace, so that's obviously good in general. But what happens if I want to attack with two and I need to attack with two? Well, one of them's going to get hit and die, and it's not going to be Finn, right? Probably going to set it aside, or maybe we can give something bigger. But you want this thing alive because we need it to be. So this was just bad, but if they have one creature, then we can just take it from them. A much better investment, although it is a rare, so I would be obviously careful of crafting. I do think this deck is definitely not worth crafting in general. I do think playing Peter Parker's camera a bit more of is a better investment as well than something like this. Just so if you do play a Fen, like maybe we play this on 1, play a Fen on 2, get the attack, we hit with Fen, we activate camera, double that poison that was in slide, and then maybe play a 1-drop or something. There's just a lot of things with this deck that kind of need to go right at any given moment, so it's just not necessarily worth playing, which is okay. Played it more for fun today, that's why we didn't play in ranked, but we'll take it and we'll call it a day. So I hope you all enjoyed it regardless, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.